The Product Analytics PM UX Weekly Think for June 7th, 2023. I just wanted to, after looking at the async notes from last week, I updated the invite with a new Zoom link. It's the Zoom link in the agenda now, and Kevin and Dennis are both co-hosts, that's the right word, for the meeting. So you should be able to start it without me now. I think you do need to
Cool.
be logged in to be able to get into it as well.
Okay.
Just wanted to review that. And with that, then let's start looking at the sticky items. Latest proposal, latest prototype review results. I haven't scheduled, but I will schedule those. I wanted to touch base with you with the internal folks.
Mhm.
A good chunk of them are actually EMEA based. Are you or Europe based? Are you comfy
Okay.
running those solo, and then I
Yeah.
can watch the recordings? Okay, cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Before
yeah.
I scheduled it for like that hour sliver of time that all three of us potentially for a few of the folks have think time.
Yeah,
I
yeah. No
wanted to
worries if it's easier this way. Yeah, happy to run the
okay,
sessions.
fantastic. And then the way the sessions are running is just walking, or I guess the procedure is walking through the discussion guide and showing them the dashboard itself and the
Correct.
steps that they're going to take.
Yeah, as well as I think we had a few questions at the beginning to better understand a bit the context around them, wanting to set up a custom dashboard.
Yeah.
That's what you added in the discussion guide. So yeah, I think these sessions should be around 30 minutes tops. Um, and yeah, if you could also try to schedule external people for the upcoming week like this, we have a whole um, schedule done so that to me, I know when I need to iterate because the point of write is to kind of like go through with the first prototype, get some feedback, and then iterate on the prototype and then test again, like all this until you feel like you have something um, good enough to start building, basically. So yeah, so if we could have like a timeline scheduled, that would be great as well. But that
So
also depends on the participants. So
yeah, um, I'd like to talk a little bit about, I guess, exit criteria, for lack of a better term, because we could do
mhm.
that cycle forever. But should we cap it,
As
or
in the
is
number of people.
as the number of cycles, or is there some sort of quantitative
Mm,
measure that we should say, listen, this isn't iterating on this isn't going to work. Scrap it and start
yeah.
over with a different solution to the problem of give me a custom view of my data.
That's a good question. So I know what you would do usually with Write is like you start with three, you test, you address the issues that you have in your test, then you rerun with two, and then you kind of repeat this.
Yeah, I
But
don't
we
want us to
could,
get into bike shedding of somebody who has a particular way that they view data, giving us feedback based only on that. It's more of
yeah,
for the task that you need to accomplish, can you accomplish it? If you liked it or not is a little secondary. Like, did it delight is great, but can you get through the task without banging your head on the desk?
yeah,
Feels like a good starting point, and we
yeah,
can
yeah, no, for
iterate from
sure.
there. But if
Yeah,
they
yeah,
feel they
okay.
can't do it, we absolutely need to iterate. Like if it's so non-intuitive they cannot create a dashboard, okay,
Yeah,
we need to start over. But if it gets down to, hey, it'd be easier if I didn't have to take this one extra click out of 20 in the steps. Okay,
yeah.
like
No, yeah, I agree with you. I think it's better to focus on like the fundamental part of the workflow, make sure that this is kind of nailed in a way, and then whatever we think is um like secondary to this, we can just see this for later, basically, like validate it later. Especially considering the state that product analytics is in, like let's just focus on the main and core workflow, and then we'll refine along the way. I agree with that.
okay. So if a user can get through the steps, if we get three users who can get through the steps, would that be the criteria we're looking for to say, great, now let's go build it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think like if again, like it's not going to be a fully. very high detail prototype, but then we can also increase the level of detail. But yeah, if we feel that people can successfully create a custom dashboard and that they don't flag something that we think is really fundamental, then yes, I think we can just say, okay, let's go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's like it's important to keep like a good balance between validating and extra validating, right?
Yeah. The
Yeah,
purpose is to validate a solution, not polish a solution. Just want to make sure we don't
yeah,
slip into that because
yeah,
it'd be really easy to do. Awesome. I think
yeah,
that'll
yeah, for
be,
sure.
yeah, if we have 3 users who can complete the steps on a version, then I think we're in a good spot. Cool.
Yeah,
And then we talked about next thing to validate last time, probably the visualization designer. So I
yep.
think we'll be starting on that next. Awesome.
Yeah, I get a feeling that part of the testing that we're doing now, it has the visualization designer. So I think we'll be able to validate a bit of that or at least get some feedback on it. And then if we want to go deeper, obviously we can like do it.
Sounds good.
So yeah.
Cool. All right. And then next things that need design, it looks like there is the one issue that's scheduled and has a design label is the prototyping that we're talking about.
Yep.
Everything else is
And
backlog that's ready for
yeah,
design.
I'm looking at another one right now, which is the smaller one. It's about our alert state in the dashboard. Let me paste that here. Yeah, because it's something that kind of fell through the cracks a few weeks ago, and
Okay.
I'm just looking at it right now because I kind of need those small design issues during the downtime of right. When we're not testing
Yeah.
and things like that, I can pick up some small things.
Okay.
Ah, I find it. Okay, I'll drop it in the agenda, and then the other thing that I did as well was to rewrite a bit the problem validation issue that Nick opened. Last week we kind of discussed with Justine and Nick, um, doing kind of both problem and solution validation in parallel. And I kind of pinged you both in the issue to maybe think a bit about problem validation as a broader scope and focusing on jobs to be done in the meantime, because I think this is really like important to have this done, pun intended. Yeah, before we move forward. So I'm just gonna paste the issue maybe around here. But yeah, feel free to check it out. Um, it changes a bit, what we want the outcome of this research to be. And let's see what Nick is saying about that as well. Um, but yeah, the idea is to kind of go beyond simply creating dashboard is more like seeing analytics as a whole and who is performing the task, what are like some kind of main tasks that they're trying to do, and then what are like subtasks and everything. Um, and the other thing, I didn't drop this in the agenda, but I wanted to kind of understand this a bit better. Um, like I know that we want to have some kind of velocity shipping thing, and that's why we're using right. Um, but then I was like, where does this needs come from? And in my mind, it comes from the fact that we're a bit late to the party, if that makes sense, right? So we kind of need to catch up because there are a lot of competitors. But I'm so curious to hear it from you, like why do we want to be very fast shipping anything
Yeah.
related to product analysis?
Um, so I think we're back up a step. So we have our experimental phase that we're trying to get to of the base behavior and audience dashboards, shipping with that. And then the
Hmm.
criteria and the work that we're going to do in beta is around making it production ready, basically with that um, feature set available. That's a very light feature set, though. So I don't think that there's a compelling aha moment within that for our
Hmm.
customers. But we can get quick feedback from those customers, internal and external, on problems they're still trying to solve. The faster that we can then iterate on those features and get them out and see traction in our active users, um, and the better off we are, right? The more value we can show in the product, and the more likely
Mm.
that the feature set is going to be successful. So the faster we can iterate on those things, especially integrations with or usage of other GitLab features, the more value we bring to the customer. If we don't, I feel like this ends up being another one of those bolted on things within GitLab that we get to MVC state and then abandon and
Yep.
eventually
I
sunset
agree.
2 years later. It doesn't bring a lot of
Yeah.
value to customers. So the faster we can validate value solving problems, especially for existing
Hmm.
customers, the better. I don't think we
Okay.
have the time to show that the investment should continue of taking, a quarter before we ship the next feature. We got to do it faster than that.
Okay. But at the same time, I'm also thinking, and again, I'm taking this from a like designer and research standpoint. But like there are ways to assess value, right?
Yeah,
Before really using anything. Job to be done is one of them in a way. Um, so I'm also wondering, like maybe this is also something we could tackle instead of just shipping features, or I don't know. Because like, it's kind of it's like either we do it before shipping or ship like a very minimal iteration, which we have right now, I think, which is kind of like a proof of concept that is getting better. Either we do it this way, which we are doing, either we kind of take a step back slightly, do the job to be done research, and then kind of see the value that it can have. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Like I think
yeah. I
it's
I
just two different
appreciate the
ways of
perspective.
approaching it.
Yeah, our North
Yeah.
Star right now is weekly active users. So all of our activities should focus on that, and our sense of urgency should
Yeah.
focus on how do we get more active users. And if we find that we're getting new users week after week, but we're not getting sustaining users, the solutions we've
Yeah.
built aren't actually solving problems because they're not coming back and getting additional value week over week.
Hmm.
So I think that we can rapidly get through that kind of a cycle in a faster way with actual users and not a panel from first look who maybe doesn't have the real problem that we're describing. The other thing I think we need to keep in mind is for our users, like where does this problem stack rank?
Yeah.
If you want GitLab to go solve 5 problems for you, is this one of those top 5? And so we want to find a problem that's, in that list that we can address with product analytics to a certain degree. And if it's
Hmm.
integrations, like, hey, I have deployments going out and I'm seeing with my DORA metrics, my team is getting more effective, but I don't know if anybody's using that. Is that a problem that you have? You don't have feature usage, or you don't understand how deployments are impacting your feature usage or functionality.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean the number of active user I think is an interesting metric because to me is if you want to see returning people is that as you mentioned, you see that there's value in it, right? They see that there's value in it, therefore they're coming back. Therefore, this metric like increases. But I think a good way to understand the value is to actually have like some kind of job to be done or something
Yeah,
done. And yeah, I don't think we'd research through first look. Um, to be honest, I think job to be done research are made differently. But anyway, if it's still something we do in parallel, I think that's good. But yeah, I think it's perspective. Like in my mind, is like if we know because we have the job to be done, we know where we can provide value, and then we start kind of thinking about how. Um, so then down the line, you would be a bit more assertive when shipping something because you would likely see your solution being used sustainably, right? Therefore, like your metrics around active users, so monthly active users ramping up. That's yeah, that's different side of the coin basically.
yeah, and I
But
think that
okay, I'll understand a bit
in
more.
the research that was done prior to the creation of the category and the creation of the team, that was done in a way of the initial use cases. I have interest in use and usage. That is my job to be done. I need to see usage of my product as a product manager or
Yeah.
as an engineering lead. Are we showing, like, that's hard to get at today for a team who has nothing? They're searching in logs, they're maybe
Hmm.
implementing Google Analytics, which we have a kind of a great opportunity right now with the big shift into GA4. um, like those teams maybe have nothing and they need to see usage and they need to see paths through their product. That's their
Hmm.
job. That's what they're trying to solve for. And
Yeah.
we build off of that or do a lighter weight approach to it or build with that opportunity in mind through experiment and beta and then do a
Yeah.
scorecard of sorts of, hey, are we actually accomplishing the thing and get a maturity level on it?
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, thanks for answering this question. I know you took a bit of a tangent.
I mean,
Um,
I appreciate the perspective and the importance of, hey, we need to actually have like a thing we're going to try to solve for. Like, is there a job to be done? And all of our solutions should focus on that. We can't take a scattershot approach. And that's why we're not trying to do heat mapping and surveys and session recording. Like it's all about feature usage. I don't know how many people are using features or using my product. That is my job to be done as an engineering lead or as a product manager. I need to be able to visualize that. Great. Let's
mhm.
go solve for that problem and get that job to be done.
Okay. Right. Cool.
Okay. Uh,
I think we're good on the agenda. Or
I wanted to talk about the UX research issue real quick before
yeah.
I answer Nick's question in there. I think that bronze support for the right stuff that we're doing. Beyond that, do we, as we're looking at, this is for Q2, yeah. So in the quarter that we're in already, I think that that's the support that we would
Yes.
need. That'll get us into the work that we're doing to enter the beta phase. Um, I think that that's all the support that we would need. What am I missing now? Let's just see if I'm missing something.
Um, yeah, so I think for everything right related, bronze support seems good to me. For the job to be done research, I would put gold if possible. Um, yeah, I know that for Nick it might be also a bit hard because, he has multiple birds to cover. So everyone's gonna try to gold their issues, right?
Yeah,
So, but yeah, if I were to pick one for the job to be done research, I would say it's gold. Knowing that I can also help him on that as well, because I was like before moving from growth, this is one of the research I was doing, so I'm cool also jumping on that.
cool. All right, well, add the note back that we just need some bronze support on the right stuff, and we're good. And then we'd be looking at. Do you want to try to get ahead and say, hey, we're going to do a scorecard? What is that called? Not maturity
Because scorecard is
scorecard,
maturity
UX
scorecard.
scorecard. Yeah.
That's two
Um,
different things. Category maturity scorecard or UX scorecard. Which one are
prob-
you?
I meant the maturity one, but probably you do a
Yes.
UX scorecard first in Q3.
So we have the UX scorecard done already.
Okay.
Like that I did when I joined
Yeah. Yep.
uh the group. So yeah, category we can do it if we feel that. But then can we? At the same time, like, well, we know that product analytics is gonna be in alpha and then beta. So yeah, I don't know. Let's note it down and see and talk this through again, I
It
guess.
might be, maybe it'll be jobs to be done research, do a revisit on that in Q3 and
Yes, because
get ready
we'll need
for
that.
category scorecard in Q4.
Exactly, because we'll need the job to be done for that.
Okay. Awesome. So for Q2, just some broad support, consulting on the right stuff. Q3, we're looking at jobs to be done. Q4, we're looking at scorecard. Okay.
Cool.
Awesome. And I don't think we had any follow-ups from last week. Yeah, I don't see any action items.
Nope. I think everything was completed.
Yeah. And I'll update the UX. Alrighty. Thanks, Kevin. Have a great day, man.
All good. Well, thanks. Have a good day. See you around.
Cheers.
Bye.